The Galactic Council laughed as Earth formally announced its withdrawal. Not a diplomatic pause. Not a careful negotiation. Just a short, sarcastic message broadcast in 73 languages, 3 meme formats, and a slow zoom on Steve sipping coffee with a shirt that read, "Not my problem anymore." To most of the galaxy, Earth was background noise. Clever? Sure. Stubborn? Sometimes. Dangerous? Please. They had warp drives held together with zip ties and duct tape, and their diplomats regularly ended conferences by flipping a coin labeled peace or mayhem. So, when humanity left, the council shrugged. "Good riddance," said Chancellor Vrak, a seven-eyed bureaucrat with the emotional range of a fax machine. He had no idea that Earth's silence wasn't surrender. It was stage 1. Council World, the bureaucratic core of the galactic network, continued as usual. Subcommittees debated trade. Minor skirmishes were filed under predictable. No one noticed the absence of Earth in daily affairs, at least, not immediately. Then weird things started happening. Minor outposts stopped replying. Cargo shipments vanished but left behind handwritten thank you notes signed Team Raccoon. Entire species began migrating for no explainable reason, except one, who simply said, "You'll see." The council convened an emergency session. For optics. A hologram of Steve appeared without warning. Not live. A recording. "Hey, Galaxy," he said, legs kicked up on a desk made of repurposed alien metals. "We noticed you didn't care when we left." "That's cute." He sipped from a mug, #1 threat to peace, apparently. "But here's the thing. You didn't conquer us. You tolerated us. That was your first mistake." Behind him, a whiteboard filled with phrases like Operation Nope, Tactical Inconvenience Initiative, and Deploy the Geese, was barely visible. "We didn't leave because we were weak," Steve said. "We left because you never asked why we stayed." Then the message glitched. Purposefully. And ended with a static image. A banana taped to a planet. Labeled, Phase 1. Inside the Council's War Strategy Hall, Grand Admiral Kelm snorted. "Humans are masters of theater. Drama without impact. They've never had interstellar dominance." He waved a tentacle dismissively. "Let them vanish." General Thorg of the Zandax Empire slammed his claw on the table. Their ships were unpredictable. Their tactics. Unrefined, Kelm snapped. Random. Exactly, Thor growled. And somehow, effective. But the room had already moved on. The galaxy had bigger concerns. Trade tariffs. Subspecies uprisings. Black holes doing things black holes should not be doing. Earth was a footnote. Until one morning, Council World's orbital security grid blinked out. Not exploded. Just replaced. Every defense satellite was now broadcasting 24/7 footage of human cats knocking over priceless artifacts. Over and over. Some laughed. Others began twitching. Kelm demanded answers. His aide simply whispered, "Sir, they've weaponized cuteness." Meanwhile, on the far side of the spiral arm, Admiral Nura Vasquez stood aboard the UNS. Bad decisions, humanity's last official warship. Though warship was generous, it looked more like a scrapyard glued together by a caffeine-fueled engineer and a dare. She stared out at deep space, sipping mate, while watching the chaos unfold through decrypted alien feeds. "Status?" she asked calmly. Her comms officer grinned. 3 council factions blaming each other for the orbital meme broadcast. One envoy rage quit a peace conference after his translator started autocorrecting into human sarcasm. Nura smiled. "Phase 2 prepped?" "Steve's already in place." Said something about a lawn chair and an air horn. "Perfect." Back in council chambers, reality started cracking. Not from weapons. Not from war. But from weirdness. Alien diplomats found their personal AI assistants replaced by SteveBot, which replied to every question with "nah" or "try turning it off and back on." Military orders were rerouted through Earth's obsolete social networks. A planetary strike was delayed because the alien general got locked out for suspicious activity and had to verify his account using name of your first pet. Council Command finally issued a Level 6 contingency alert, which was one step below full extinction. Steve popped back onto their screens. "Wow. Took you longer than I expected," he said, spinning in a swivel chair made entirely of confused alien tech. "You see, you never respected us. You thought humanity was messy, irrational, dangerous, but containable." He stood. "Let me be clear." The screen zoomed in. "We're not dangerous because of what we do." He leaned in. "We're dangerous because we know how to leave, and let you fall apart on your own." The feed cut. Behind him, the words "Phase 2, Weaponized Absence" glowed on the screen. Admiral Vasquez leaned back, watching 3 Council warships collide in orbit due to misinterpreted sarcasm command syntax. She sipped her drink. Let the galaxy eat itself. The humans hadn't attacked. They hadn't fired a single shot. They'd simply left. And somehow, the galaxy was already tearing itself apart. They didn't see the first real retaliation. Because it wasn't a missile. It was a playlist. 3,000 Council-controlled planetary systems woke up to a synchronized broadcast of 90s Earth boy bands, auto-looped, unskippable, and somehow, emotionally devastating. The song? Bye Bye Bye. The file name? Phase 3 probably? On the bridge of the Council's flagship, the Celestial Authority, Admiral Kelms screamed over the bridge's chaotic alarms. "Why is every targeting system syncing to the beat?" "No idea, sir," shouted his second-in-command, dodging sparks. "Our AI believes it's part of a cultural challenge. It keeps trying to moonwalk." Kelms snapped to the comms. "Trace the source. Tell me which sector launched it." Silence. Then a trembling voice replied. "There is no source, Admiral. It's everywhere." Somewhere in deep space, a stolen freighter burst into view, painted entirely in zebra stripes and trailing glitter. Inside, Steve stood barefoot at the helm, wearing a bathrobe and sipping from a thermos labeled Council Tears. He tapped a few buttons on a beat-up laptop duct-taped to the console. The ship's hull unfolded like origami and deployed a high-powered speaker array. The glitter trail turned neon. The message: "You ignored the warning. Now comes the nonsense." The freighter performed a barrel roll, dropped a payload of inflatable ducks, and vanished through a wormhole shaped like a peace sign. Back on Council World, Chancellor Vrak clutched his head as a live broadcast of the galaxy's largest data vault began reciting Earth's Wikipedia pages, at random. "Sir," his aide said, "half the galactic data bank is now looping instructions for baking banana bread." "And the other half?" Quotes from someone named Shrek. A hologram burst into life behind them. Steve, of course. He stood before a chalkboard. Today's lesson: consequences. Behind him, the words "How to Lose a Galaxy in 10 Steps" were half erased. He underlined Step 4, mock a species that wrote YOLO into its constitution. Fleet Admiral Thorg of the Zandax Empire had had enough. "These are children's games," he roared. "Deploy the interdictors. Burn their colonies to ash." His war fleet surged forward. The first volley was blocked. Not by shields. Not by cloaking. But by a literal wall of mirrors reflecting their own plasma blasts back at them. One Zandax officer screamed, "Sir! They're using solar sarcasm geometry." Thorg didn't respond. He was staring at his console, now locked by a single sentence. Error 404, threat not found. At Earth's old moon base, now repurposed into a floating lounge called Club Chaos, Admiral Nura Vasquez leaned over the balcony, watching a holographic news feed of the Council's downward spiral. The headlines: Council votes to ban memes, population riots. Galactic stock market crashes after Earth sells NFT of Jupiter. Zandax troops mutiny, join human dance-off league. Her lieutenant floated by holding a tray of glowing drinks. Ma'am, Steve sent a message. What now? She asked, exasperated. It's a package. He held up a small, blinking box. She raised an eyebrow. What's in it? A raccoon. Wearing a hat. Carrying a legal document. She opened it. The raccoon saluted, handed over the scroll, and vanished in a puff of confetti. The message? Effective immediately, Earth formally cancels all treaties, obligations, and responsibility for this galactic circus. At the bottom, in Steve's handwriting. You made the mess. Enjoy the show. Meanwhile, across the stars, signs of full collapse bloomed like black holes in a clown car. The Krell High Order tried to block all human content. Their citizens responded by developing black market meme networks that ran on ancient Earth Game Boys. The Vorton fleet launched a coordinated assault on Earth's abandoned defense grid. It triggered a response. Not a weapon. A pop-up window. You've activated trial mode, please wait 7 days or insert 25 credits to continue invasion. The entire fleet was trapped in a never-ending loading screen. On the political front, things got worse. The Council attempted to unite the species under a single emergency broadcast. Steve interrupted. Hello. Galactic citizens. I bring urgent news. He held up a hamster. This is Nugget. He now controls your central encryption algorithms. We didn't mean for it to happen, but, here we are. He paused, then added, also, your flag's upside down. Just thought you should know. The feed cut. Chaos resumed. In one final attempt to reassert control, the Council deployed Protocol Ultra Eclipse, a massive psychological assault intended to demoralize enemies through nightmare projections. It backfired spectacularly. Instead of breaking minds, the projections were replaced with Earth's worst reality shows. 12 billion alien citizens immediately lost the will to fight. Some even formed religious cults dedicated to Steve's bathrobe. Admiral Vasquez gave the order. Release the final virus. Her officer hesitated. The one in the duck costume? She nodded. And with that, Earth's last message in this phase spread like wildfire across the stars. We didn't fight you. We left. And you broke yourselves trying to follow. The Empire's command network cracked like old glass under a boot made of glitter and confusion. Somewhere in the Andromeda Annex, the last stable communication relay suddenly blasted the sound of human laughter, looped, echoing, and layered with a bass drop so violent it triggered seismic activity on 3 moons. At first, they thought it was a glitch. Then came the Stevecast. Every active screen, data pad, ship HUD, and even internal thoughts for some unlucky telepaths synced to a single feed. Steve stood in a cosmic void, wearing a tuxedo jacket and no pants. Behind him floated a chalkboard with glowing phrases. Welcome to the twist. You tried logic. We brought chaos. This is why you don't touch Antarctica. He bowed. Let me guess, you're wondering how it gets worse. He pointed behind him. The void cracked. And from it emerged Earth's final psychological weapon. The resonator. The resonator wasn't a bomb. Not a ship. Not even a thing. It was an idea. Encoded into music, broadcast through quantum entanglement, and tuned to the exact neural rhythm that caused maximum existential dread. Its official title? wubwub_existential crisis v9_final_final.mp3. Every time an Empire fleet tried to rally, the resonator pulsed. Soldiers forgot their mission mid-order and started asking questions like, why do our uniforms have so many buttons? What if we're the baddies? Is war just spicy politics? One general defected mid-speech, tore off his sash, and started live-streaming gardening tips. Entire armada surrendered not from injury, but from introspection. Inside the Empire's once untouchable war control tower, Emperor Zorak watched the reports roll in like death certificates wrapped in memes. Fleet Delta, lost. Commander now DJING in orbit of a gas giant. Sector 9, in rebellion. Demands new anthem composed entirely of raccoon screeches. Outer Colonies, declared independence and rebranded as the Free Republic of Vibe. Zorak stood, his voice trembling. Summon the full council. All hands. His aide blinked. Sir, there is no council. The last vote was live-streamed as a prank show. The only survivor is a sock puppet. Zorak stared, unblinking. Then activate Doomsday Protocol Omega. The aide winced. Sir? Steve already filed a copyright claim. It belongs to him now. Zorak collapsed back into his throne. Then we are already dead. Meanwhile, in Earth's secret command spa, Admiral Vasquez floated upside down in a bubble bath reading alien poetry aloud in a mocking voice. Her comms officer interrupted. Ma'am, the resonator has fully synchronized with Galactic Broadcast Layer 4. Response? Widespread diplomatic collapse. Formal peace treaties now require interpretive dance. Also, 12 empires are trying to sue each other for emotional damage. Vasquez snorted. Perfect. Q phase final. Ah, ma'am, phase final has 3 subphases: wiggle, distract, and vanish. Do them all. And so it began. Operation Wiggle. Every Empire-controlled AI was forced to re-download and play Earth's forgotten dance challenges, poorly. Destroyers began torquing. Capital ships flossed. Alien historians wept. Operation Distract. Thousands of rogue human broadcasts launched across the stars. Topics ranged from top 10 galactic conspiracies to which council member is actually a lizard. Hint, all of them. Civil unrest turned into reality TV. Operation Vanish. Humanity disappeared. Not just from view. From everything. Signals ceased. Ships evaporated. Earth itself phased out of sensor range, as if the entire species had collectively unplugged and gone camping. In their place, a single signal repeated endlessly. BRB. Don't touch our stuff. Across the galaxy, alien leaders screamed into voids. Their enemies didn't kill them. Their allies didn't betray them. They had been outmemed. Zorak attempted one final act of defiance. He gathered the remnants of his military, patched together a coalition of the broken, and aimed the last operational planet cracker cannon at the coordinates where Earth used to be. He issued a final command: erase them from history. He fired. And hit. A mirror. The cannon shot reflected perfectly, right back into the Empire's last planetary stronghold. Boom. Gone. The screen flickered. Steve appeared one last time. Oops. The galactic feed surged with chaos. Comment threads exploded. Alien empires trended on interstellar social feeds under hashtags like #WeGotSteved. #Earth did it again. #Bring back the raccoons. Alien youth across multiple planets declared human weak. Galactic rap battles now featured Earth slang. Even war memorials started including jukeboxes just in case the humans return. The galaxy didn't just lose. It changed. And Earth? It was somewhere else now. A rumor. A ghost. A whispered warning. Don't provoke the ones who left. Especially not the one with the slushie. The galaxy tried to recover. It truly did. Treaties were rewritten. Councils reformed. Empires rebranded themselves with soft colors and new fonts like Galactic Sands. They banned sarcasm. Mandated therapy. Even held a universal day of silence called No Earth Mention Monday. It didn't work. Because humanity wasn't gone. They were just done participating. The stars were quiet now, not in peace, but in fear. Every ambassador who dared utter human in a sentence would flinch, as if the very word could summon a prank-shaped meteor. And yet, somewhere in deep space, a satellite blinked back to life. Its ID? SteveNet-001. A transmission followed. Not a threat. Not even a warning. Just a notification. To whom it may concern, we're bored again. Aboard the UNS. Please don't panic. Admiral Vasquez leaned over a sushi buffet made entirely from extinct space fish and raised her glass. Phase complete, she said with a grin. A junior officer floated by in a chicken costume holding a datapad. Ma'am. We've confirmed it. The Empire's new capital renamed itself Nuyania and is currently ruled by an actual potato in a tiara. Vasquez blinked. Is it at least a smart potato? No, ma'am. It's just really confident. She toasted. Good. That's the spirit. Meanwhile, deep in a nebula shaped suspiciously like a thumbs up, Steve broadcast one final time. He stood on a shimmering hilltop, stars swirling behind him, a raccoon in a tactical vest perched on his shoulder. His hoodie flapped in the solar wind. Earth's flag waved from the top of an asteroid that had been painted like a slice of pizza. He cleared his throat. Hey, Galaxy. Long time. The feed cut to a rapid montage. The council chamber, now a trampoline park. Empire warships repurposed as DJ stages. Diplomats breakdancing over peace treaties while raccoons provided security. Then Steve came back on screen. I hope you've learned something. He held up a whiteboard labeled Reasons We Left. He pointed to bullet points. You were boring. You thought order beat chaos. You thought we were the joke. He underlined the final note. But we write the punchlines. Back on Council World, Emperor Zorak, now just Zorak, manager of park permits, watched the screen, eyes hollow. They never wanted war, he mumbled. His assistant nodded, quietly petting a duck with military medals. They just wanted to be seen. Zorak stared at the stars. And now they're everywhere. Across the known galaxy, cultures shifted. Ships were redesigned with random angles for Earth vibe. Universities taught sarcasm as a second language. The most popular military academy changed its motto to Win stupid. Win loud. Win weird. The galaxy hadn't just lost to humans. It had been infected by them. A playful virus of creativity and chaos. And no cure. And then, nothing. No new messages. No new Steve. Only the drifting reminder on loop, still broadcast by a lonely, untraceable beacon. We left because you were boring. You stayed because now you're not. You're welcome. A beat. Then Steve again. He sat on a lawn chair on a moon made of cheese. He was wearing sunglasses, sipping something blue, and holding a foam finger that said #1 agent of chaos. He looked into the camera. Smiled. And said. And remember, we could have done all this with raccoons. The feed cut. Permanently.